Hello, future year 12s. Welcome to the taster session for A-level business at St George's Sixth Form. I'm going to be spending part of this session talking to you about the course, what our expectations are, and how it's going to benefit you. I'm assuming that you're interested in the business world and working in business in the future. In fact, every single one of you will work in some sort of organisation or business at some point in your life. Unless, of course, any of you have got a £5 million trust fund and don't need to work at all. So let's start off with you understanding, or your understanding of the business world. I've put up here 5 different companies, business leaders or entrepreneurs, the people that established leading businesses who are leading the way in business as it is today. I'd like you to take a moment to just see if you can identify, firstly, who they are, and secondly, the brand that they established. So, did you get them right? We have Jeff Bezos from Amazon, Julian Dunkerton, a UK entrepreneur from Superdry, Evan Spiegel from Snapchat, Richard Reed from Innocence, Larry Page and Sergey Brin from Google. All of these are amazing business leaders. The one thing they have in common is all of them having established their brands, obviously created their product or service, were in a position to be sought after on the stock exchange and floated their businesses in order to earn a huge net worth for themselves. The consequence of doing that is, of course, that you lose some of that control. In fact, Julian Dunkerton has had quite a number of issues around this area, and perhaps some of you are going to be doing that for your milestone, so I won't tell you too much, but he's now gone back into his brand to try and make sure he pulls it back from being the leading UK brand that it was, based from Oxfordshire, to where it is now, and trying to kind of bring that back. In order to be able to establish brands that people want to sell, you need to understand more about how businesses work and the different types of ownership. And we do this and we cover this during the course. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that. In year 1, we cover what is business. It's the first thing we do. And whilst it's not my favourite unit to teach, it can be a little bit dry, especially we're doing it when we first start. We look at the legalities of how businesses are set up, what their objectives are, and we look at different types of businesses. I cannot stress to you how important it is for you to be wider reading in terms of the news, business publications. Right now, it will give you such an advantage as we start the course in September. The next unit that we do is managers, leadership and decision making. This gives us an amazing understanding of how businesses and their leadership teams are making decisions in terms of strategy and success that actually match up to their business objectives. We look at then marketing and how businesses sell. This is not all about glossy advertising campaigns. This is very much about data and how data drives a business forward, and how oftentimes the business's value is based on how much data is collated. We also look at operations. Any of you that I've taught before in business in our current year 11, you know that operations is one of my favourite topics. I really enjoy this side. We do some practical work around this as well to understand different production methods, and we look at high-level manufacturing techniques as well, which give efficiency. We look next at finance. Finance is obviously a critical function of any business, because without that function and without good sound financial management, businesses fail enormously quickly. So we look at things like profit and loss and revenue and how we can cut costs. And finally, we look at human resources. Human resources is about the people. And people are very much required by a business. You can have the best product in the world, but if you haven't got great people, it's just not going to work. In year 2, it's a much more strategic approach. So we look at what we've done in year 1, and we build on that in terms of the strategic position and direction and how businesses change according to external influences. So how are you going to study? How's it going to work? It's really different from GCSE. You're going to be required to work an awfully lot more independently from how you've been working at GCSE level. So yes, you will be in class with your teacher, 8 lessons a fortnight, but you'll be required to have one peer study lesson. So you'll be working with a study buddy. It could be somebody that you choose or that your teacher chooses for you. And you'll work with them 1 hour a week during a free period or study period to kind of consolidate your knowledge and work together in terms of testing and challenging. You are required to work 5 hours as a minimum outside of the classroom. Unlike GCSE, there are guided learning hours which are not just based on your contact time. This is about you developing skills, potentially to go on to university or onto an apprenticeship, degree apprenticeship, where you learn to work on your own. That might be consolidating your notes into things like topic doses, revision summary cards, mind maps. It could be testing yourself, it could be doing wider reading, or of course it could be work that's been set by your teacher. We also will encourage you to have study groups, and time will be set aside each week, and space of course, for you to attend and work together. We hopefully will be doing educational visits to Thorpe Park, where we look at marketing, operations and human resources at the end of year 12. Fortunately this year we couldn't do it, but those of you that have studied before know that we did this in year 10. Guest speaker seminars are a really critical part of what we do. Engaging with employers about what actually employers are looking for, how they establish their business, how they establish their careers, is really important. And again, I can't keep coming back to it enough that you will be required to independent study. And that's not just on A-level business, that will be across the board in any A-level subject that you study. You will be required to look at current affairs, again as part of your independent study. But I strongly recommend that you start establishing good practice right now by making sure you've downloaded news apps. If you've got an iPhone, you will already have an inbuilt app that is a news app. And you start reading the news on a regular basis. You don't need to read the news about every tweet that Donald Trump has done, or indeed read every update on our current COVID-19 situation. But what you do need to do is be aware of changes that are going on within the business world. At the moment, that's on a daily basis. Businesses are being reopened, but when we are back to normal, that would be more upon the basis of different political changes, economic effects, social and technological, different changes to the law, and of course different changes in environmental practice. All of these things influence how businesses work. By reading the news and understanding what's going on in the world, you will understand how businesses are having to adapt and adjust accordingly. We will also be, finally, in year 13, attending A-level preparation seminars and workshops. This is an opportunity for you to meet with examiners who write the exams and get best practice out of them and really consolidate your knowledge around how to perform at the best level in year 13. A-level business is assessed purely on exam. There is no coursework. At the end of year 13, you will be required to sit 3 exam papers. Each of those papers is 2 hours long and each is worth 100 marks. Each paper could test you on any of the modules and units that you have studied throughout your 2 years in sixth form. They are challenging exams. I would liken some of the paper, possibly paper 3, to something that you would do in a foundation degree. I'm being very honest with you because I don't want you to think that A-level business is going to be easy. It isn't an easy course. It's a really interesting course. It's a really useful course, but it isn't easy. It will challenge you. There are 32 different calculations, and the same again in theories and models that you have to learn over that 2 years and be able to apply to one of those 3 papers throughout the assessment period at the end of year 13. To support that independent learning and you working really hard throughout the year, we want to apply those skills and the knowledge that you've learned throughout year 12 into real context. So hopefully we will go to visit Thorpe Park, enjoy some workshops there and look at the business side of Thorpe Park. Naturally, of course, we will have to experience the customer service and the operational side, which of course means that we'll be going on the rides. The other trip that we hope to do, and again this will be subject to everything being open next year, will of course be a fast track seminar, which will be about your practicing your skills to establish good exam technique for year 13. A-levels are not just about learning content. You are going to be developing some amazing skills that you will transfer into your future lives after you've left sixth form. You will learn to become independent, you will learn to be far more resilient, you will learn to problem solve, and you will learn to analyse. Clearly, the independence comes from beginning to understand how to work independently. But the resilience is something that I think many students coming into year 12 don't realise how tough it's going to be. Learning how to fail, pick yourself up, learn from the mistake you made and get back onto it is an incredibly important lesson that you will learn over the 2 years. And I promise you, it will happen to you. Nobody comes into sixth form and finds it easy. It is a huge adjustment from year 11. You'll learn to problem solve. You'll learn better ways of working effectively for yourself. You'll learn higher level, deeper thinking. And you'll learn to analyse situations and apply theory that you won't have done during year 11 and your GCSE study practice. You'll also learn how to creatively manage your time and develop a system to manage your time, because it's going to appear that you have a lot of free time. I say every year to year 12 students as they join, if you can manage your time from 8:30 in the morning till 3:30 and be effective during that time, you won't need to do a huge amount of study outside of the school day. Certainly when you're coming up for exams, of course you will. If you manage to creatively manage your time, use your time during your study periods, and I think that's often a misnomer that people think they are free periods, but use them as study periods. Find people that want to learn with you. You will be so much more effective during sixth form. So where are you going with your A-level business? Where is it you want to go? A-level business can take you on tons of different routes. And in fact, these 3 major celebrities all started off with an A-level business, often went into doing degree business as well. In fact, Mick Jagger, who's the terribly old and wrinkly gentleman and lead singer of the Rolling Stones, went to Dartford Grammar, just up the road from us, back in the 60s, but did his degree in business. So business can take you into lots and lots of different routes. Don't think that automatically you will need to go on to study a business degree. You have to always remember when you study business that it gives you an understanding of any organisation that you're going to work in, regardless of what you're going to do in that organisation. A-level business can pretty much take you anywhere you want to go, with probably the exception of medical careers. You can pretty much use it anywhere, and that's because every organisation you're going to work in is some sort of business. Whether you're considering doing law, being an entrepreneur, accountancy, finance, a teacher, anything really will take you on A-level business will take you on a great journey to do that. You will understand our economy, you will understand about legislation, you will understand how to motivate people, you will understand how to manage people, you will understand how to make strategic decisions for the benefit of organisations. Quite honestly, if you think about it, if you're going to work for an organisation, you're going to be a great hire with A-level business. I'm at the end of this presentation now, but if you have any questions, please do email me. I'm Miss Jordan. I'm leader of Business, Careers and Enterprise. I've set the milestones for both business and for the finance as well. This year I've done them slightly differently. I've asked you to engage with an external learning course. I'm not expecting you to pay for the certificate, but this is an opportunity for you to learn how to work independently and to get some good ground knowledge, foundation knowledge for September. I've also asked you to investigate an entrepreneur and to understand how their business works. Obviously, I've given you a little introduction about that during this session. But fundamentally, if you come prepared with the different tasks that I've set you in the milestone for this summer, then you'll be in a very good place to start A-level business. Students that don't manage to do that find themselves often on the back foot. So make sure you've printed them off when we come back to school in September. Bring them in, show me your great work. Let's talk about it. Anyway, I'm going to be finished there. If you do have any questions, you can email me at jordanc@sgsce.co.uk. I hope you have a great summer. I look forward to seeing some of you on results day. And I look forward to seeing you for A-level business if that's your choice. Thank you for listening.